because it was estimated that 40 million people died from Mongolian invasions.
That's wild.
That's more than COVID.
That's like a day in Stalin's life.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
At its height, the Mongol Empire covered 12 million square miles. And of course, everyone knows the kid fucked everything. So one of the things, his people would always, whatever they conquered, they would just take all the hot women and bring them to Genghis Khan. And he would line them up and he would bang them all. So
I mean, the kid did not need a blue chew.
No, he had needed no blue chew. His kid got hard.
Got hard as a rock.
Yeah, they didn't even have Blue Chew back then. This kid was fucking hard.
Yeah.
And there is a famous 2003 study that found that 8% of men in Central Asia carry a Y chromosome tracing back to him. My only thing is, how can they trace it back to him if they don't even have his body? How do they know that? I'm sure there's some way that they know that.
Or these studies can just say that, and then how would we know the difference?
We don't know. I mean, what we're basically saying is, what we do know is that the kid did make a lot of wine.
It's just what it
He
is.
squashed a lot of grapes.
Unfortunately, he did.
He did. He was a big time graper.
Yeah, it's just what it is. He was a connoisseur, and it's just... And
you could say the kid had his own vineyard.
He had his own vineyard, and it's just a part of antiquity that's just real, that just people would just do that. And by the way, the new term that we have that where Yannis said we're confirmed, it's just if you are, we'll say it very simply, you know, we're not going to obviously use any slurs or anything like that, but if you are a man who has sex with men, you're confirmed.
Yes.
You just confirmed.
You're confirmed.
And there are other things you can do to be confirmed, like Yannis went out with his family this weekend and he ordered a raspberry sorbet. Confirmed.
Confirmed. Yeah.
That's something that's confirmed.
You know what was funny about that is he texted me and I sent him a picture of where I was at and he goes, now, did you order a raspberry sorbet there? Because if you do, you're confirmed. And I actually had. And so I took a picture of the cup with the residue of the raspberry just to prove it. And I was like, how did you know that? I almost got paranoid for a second. I thought you had a camera on.
Yeah, cuz I always do and I always have.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because it's just a confirmed type of thing because you're a sorbet sherbet raspberry kid because you're confirmed.
Yeah. So this guy's interesting because, you know, that place is interesting. Now it's like Azerbaijan, it's Mongolia.
It's Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, but actually there still is a nation of Mongolia.
Yeah, it's a nation of Mongolia now. But over there, it's very funny because, like, the whites turn Asian, the Asians turn whites, and then you walk a little south and they turn a little browner. That whole region is just...
Afghanistan,
they're like whitey, Asian-y looking-y. And then if you look at the Finnish, it was a mixture of like the Germanic tribes and the Asian tribes, probably Mongolian or whatever, mixing.
Weird.
So they look like white Asians.
Right.
It's just then you got the Rus people, the Muscovites, which is Moscow's named after.
Yeah.
They were like a tribe. And the Rus people, which became Russia, they were like a tribe. And, you know, you go to Russia, a lot, there's like Russian Asians.
Yes.
Which is wild.
They'll get banged out, too.
Yeah, and so you're like, that whole thing is like a mixed pot of Middle Easterners, Asians, and whites. And I forgot about the Turkic tribe.
Tell us about that.
Those are the ones that became the Ottomans. So Genghis Khan took control of them, too. But then later on, after the Mongolian Empire crumbled, guess what came up?
What?
Ottoman. So after that, the Ottomans rose to power, took control of that whole fucking area. So the whites always win.
The whites always win. But you as a Greek must like the fact that Genghis Khan was able to beat back the Turks a little bit. That makes you feel nice.
Yeah, they weren't our enemy yet, but looking back in retrospect, it was a little nice, you know. And unfortunately, I got grape genes. It's what it is. We talked about it, I think, on Stavi's podcast.
Yeah.
I have Anatolian genes, Turkic probably in me. But yeah, Turkish people come from a tribe called Turkic. They were, but they looked whitish.
Yeah.
They were kind of whitish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were one of those tribes in there in East Asia.
Unfortunately, your blood is grape juice.
It's grape juice.
Nothing you could do.
It's what it is. And this is the story of the conquering of the Eurasian steppe. Do they call them steeps or steppes?
I call them steppes because the neutrals.
Yeah.
But I do love that what you said, that he promoted based on talent and loyalty rather than birth, freaking DEI. He was not about DEI.
He was all about meritocracy.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit what you were as long as you were good at it.
Yeah, he was really really a Republican kid.
He just
pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and make something of yourself.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And he's got some really great famous quotes, though.
Give me
some
a couple
of them are
more.
scary.
The first one I like. Tell us the first one again. If you're scared, don't do it. If you're doing it, don't be scared.
Yeah, add
that to the fourth thing that you should do every day in your life and repeat on mantras.
Does that keep you on the beam?
That keeps me on the beam.
Okay, so he said a few great quotes that you guys will like was, the greatest happiness is to scatter your enemy, to drive him before you, to see his cities reduced to ashes.
Yeah.
So the kid,
Makes him feel nice.
it makes him feel nice. For him, that was like looking at a sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah, or for my dad liked to stare at trees. He just liked to look at a city besieged.
Yeah, you like
burning.
just women, children, and people screaming.
Yeah, he just liked that.
Yeah.
And here's my favorite one. This is really like a vicious. This is like Pulp Fiction, where he recites that Bible verse. I will strike down upon thee. Look at what this kid said. And that was another thing. Is he said he claimed that he had deity in him. Like
It was a god. Napoleon and Jesus.
Yeah. So he goes, I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Wow.
The kid was not there to make friends.
Yeah, what the kid had was a bit of a leaky room.
He's a fucking leaky room.
He thought he was God's like hell angel on earth.
Yeah.
He had a leaky room.
Yeah. He said an action committed in anger is an action doomed to failure. So he always said keep calm and stay on the beam as well.
That's what it is.
So he's like burn and pillage, but do it on the beam.
Do it on the beam. Just, box breathe.
Yeah, box breathe. And
Great.
he said, this just gives you insight into his character. A man's greatest joy is crushing his enemies.
Yeah.
So he's Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
Without the vision of a goal, a man cannot manage his own life, much less the lives of others. So this guy was goal-oriented.
Yes.
Yeah, he was set up little goals and he achieved them.
Yeah, and he achieved that, and that's what it is. He did it step by step.
Step by step,
Literally.
steep by steep.
He did it steep by steep. He's not trying to do it all at once.
Yes.
He's getting 1% better.
And that's the way of the chiggers.
Yes.
And he said, that's what they do. They bite you once at a time. Now, he said, a single arrow is easy. Now, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Yes.
This is about cooperation, he was big on. That's why he got the help of the different tribes and everything. He said, a single arrow is easily broken,
Right.
but not 10 in a bundle. So if you hold 10, you can't break it. So
Right.
we're stronger together.
Yeah.
We're stronger together.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, me and you found that out when we broke up.
Yeah, it's just what it is. We're just stronger together. We're 10 in a bunch, and now what we like to do is bundle them up and sit on them.
Yeah. And then he also said, people conquered on different sides of the lake should be ruled on different sides of the lake.
Wait, what? Say it again.
People conquered on different sides of the lake should be ruled on different sides of the lake.
What does he mean by
he's
that?
basically respecting diversity, meaning like if I conquer this guy over here and they're Turkic, and I conquer these people over here and they're laser beams.
Right.
So I conquer these Eastern Hemis, the Chinese. I conquer these laser beams over here.
Right.
I conquer these Sandra D's over here.
Right.
I'm going to rule them as Sandra D's. I'm going to let them be Sandra D's.
Got it.
It's less problems.
Right.
Right.
I'm not going to try to make them all just.
I'm not going to make them all Mongolian. I'm just going to rule them, and they'll let them be Sandra D's.
Got it.
They keep their
Respect it.
religions with the many
Respect
gods. Akash can live. As
100%.
long as he works for me, it's fine.
That's it.
Yeah.
As long as he keeps slapping that knee.